Okay, today we want to deal with the expansion of brackets. Okay, so when we have a bracket, when we have two brackets, uh, these two brackets they are multiplying each other. The brackets are placed side by side. So when they are placed side by side, it means the two brackets are multiplying each other. And this is just like we are having a single variable here and another single variable here, and the two are multiplying. But when we now have a brackets doing the same thing, then we see that this is a bracket, and we now need to expand the brackets. That is to break open the brackets. How do we go about breaking open the brackets? So first is that we are going to use the first term to multiply every term in the second bracket. We use this first term, that is this A is going to multiply C, and it's also going to multiply D. Yeah, then B is going to multiply C, is also going to multiply D. So this is how we go about it. So if we now use A to multiply C, it's going to be A times C. It's going to be AC. Because they are multiplying, so we just put them beside each other. Then we say X times Y, it's XY. A times C is going to be AC.
Yeah, but
because the two are multiplying each other.
But B times.
Now, we have done one. Then we also do the second one. So also we know that this is a plus sign. So plus also the sign as they have also matters. So because this is plus A and this is plus D multiplying. Just as we have plus C and plus A and plus C multiplying, we're going to get plus AC. And this is going to give us 4 terms. So the first term is this one that we have multiplied, which is this. So the second term is going to be this. That is when A multiplies D. When it multiplies D, it's going to be AD plus AD. Now the third one is going to be plus B times C. That is plus C. So it's going to be plus BC. Then plus B times D is going to be plus BD. So now we have 4 terms there. So we can see each of these is 2 terms. Now the number of terms that we are going to produce is going to be the number of terms that this one has and the number of terms that this one has. When we multiply these two number of terms, the total number of terms we are going to generate is going to be 4, right? So it's going to be 2 times 2, which is 4. So this is how we go about getting these answers, how we expand these brackets. Okay, now let's see another one. When we have A plus B into brackets A plus B plus C. How many terms do we have in the first brackets? We have 2 terms. How many terms do we have in the second brackets? We have 3 terms, right? So when we now want to multiply them, so this first A is going to multiply every term in the second brackets. So we are going to generate 3 terms from that one. Then this B will also multiply the 3 terms in the second bracket. We are going to have another 3 terms. So the 3 terms now, they are what? So the total number of terms we now have is going to be 6 terms, which means we are going to be having 6 terms here. So it's going to be A times A. A times A, it seems because they are the same. It's like we say A raised to power 1 times A raised to power 1. It's going to be A raised to power 2 because they are the same. Then we add their powers, right? So it's going to be a raised to power 2. Then a times b is going to be ab, because they are different letters, so we are just going to attach them to each other. That's ab. Now b times, okay, a times c, so it's going to be ac. Also, now we are done with the first one. This first letter has multiplied the 3 times here. Now it's now for the second one to now do the same multiplication. So b times a, so it's going to be ba. Now b times b, instead of saying bb, we say b squared, right?
Okay.
Because it's the same letter, so it means we're going to add their what, their powers when they are the same. Now b times c is going to be bc.
Okay.
So at this time, we now have 6 terms here, right? Just as we explained earlier, that number of terms in the first bracket and number of terms in the second bracket, if we multiply them together, that's 2 times here, 3 times here, that's 2 times 3, that's 6. We're going to generate 6 terms. So we now look at this. We see that AB and BA, they are the same. There is nothing different in them, because AB, that is A times B, just like when we say 2 times 3, it's going to be 6. And if we say 3 times 2, it's also going to be 6. So they are commutative. We call it commutativity. So they are commutative, which means whether the first one comes first or the second one comes first, whichever one comes first out of the two, they are still the same thing. So when we have something like that, it means when we have AB and BA, these two, we can add them together, just like when we say A plus A. When we say A plus A is going to be 2A, B plus B is going to be 2B, and we add them together like that, right? So this is going to be A squared plus 2AB. Now the other things we have there, we have AC plus BC plus B squared. So this is going to be the final answer to this question. So this is how we simplify the expansion of these brackets. Okay, now let's see another question. Okay, so let's look at this example now. So in this example, we have this bracket and also these brackets. So we want to multiply them. So what we said earlier, we said this x is going to multiply these two, and this y is going to multiply these two. So x times x is going to be x squared. Then x times y, that is plus y, is going to be plus xy, right? Also, minus y times x, that's going to be minus, because now this time around, this is minus y, but this one is plus x. And minus times plus is going to be minus. Then y times x is going to be yx. Or another way we can write it is xy. We can decide to rearrange them properly, that is in alphabetical order. Then y times y, that's going to be plus y times minus y, because the sign must also be taken into consideration. So that's going to be minus y squared. Okay, now at this point, this is x squared, now minus xy plus xy minus xy. What is that going to give us? Just like when we say 2 minus 2, what is going to give you the answer? 2 minus 2 will be 0, right? 1 minus 1 will be 0. X minus x is going to be 0. So xy, because they are also the same, xy minus xy is going to be 0. You get that? So it's going to be 0. So plus xy minus xy is going to be 0. So that's going to cut. So these ones, they are gone. So we are not going to be left with minus y squared. Hmm? So this particular expansion of brackets, we call it difference of two squares.
Okay.
We call it difference of two squares. That is, this is a square, this is a square. It usually leads to this. Hmm? So we'll come to explain this difference of two square later. Okay. Okay, so let's see this example. Now, if you look at this very well, there are three terms in the first bracket, and there are three terms in the second bracket. Now, what is going to happen? This first term here is going to multiply the 3 here. That is 1. Then this 3y is also going to multiply the 3 here. That's another 3 times. So making 6 times. This one is also going to multiply the 3 here. So that's going to be 9 times in all together. So that tells us that we are going to have 9 times here. So s squared times y normally is going to be s squared y, right? Now s squared times 2x, of course that's going to be what? 2x cubed, right? Because x is to the power 2 here and x is to the power what? 1 here, so it's going to be 2x is to the power 3, right? Now x squared times 3, so it's going to be 3x squared. So it's just like, it's just multiplication of a number and a letter, so we just multiply them together. Okay, so we are done with the first one. Now we now go to the second one. It's also going to multiply the 3 times here. So 3y times y is going to be plus 3y squared, right? Now 3y times 2x is going to be 6, right? xy, right? 6xy. Okay, now 3y times 3, that's going to be what? 9, right? 9y. Okay, so this one is going to be, now we are done with the next 3 times. Now this one is also going to do what? Multiply this, and multiply this. So minus 2y times y. So that's going to be minus 2y times 2x. That'll be minus 4x, right? Minus 4x. Because these two will multiply the 2 here because they are both numbers. So this can multiply this. So you get 4 and the x will still be attached. Now this one minus 2 times 3. That's going to be minus 6. Minus 6. So this is the expansion. So we'll now look at the expansion. Is there anything that can add each other? Is there any term here that can add each other? The only term I can see that can add is this one and this one, right? That's the only one that I see. Is 9y and 2y. So that one we can just add them together because they have the same y. So this is going to be s squared y plus 2s cubed plus 3x squared plus 3y squared plus 6xy plus 7y minus 4x minus 6. So this is the final answer. Okay, so okay, let's look at this particular example. So in this situation we now have 3 brackets. So when we have 3 brackets, the first thing we need to do is to expand the first 2 brackets into a bigger bracket. Then after we have finished resolving that, we'll now use the bigger bracket and the next bracket to what? To expand them to. So now it's gonna be we're going to create a bigger bracket here. Then we expand this one inside it. So the four terms that we are going to generate from the first two brackets will be inside a new bracket. So it's going to be x times x. That will be x squared. Then x times z. X times z. So that will be xz. Now y times x. That will be xy. So let's try to always arrange them alphabetically so that we can know what we're doing. So y times z is going to be yz. So we can just have it like that. Then xz, sorry, y plus z. So when we have this now, we will now use this one now to multiply every term here. So the first in this one is going to multiply these two. This is going to multiply these two. This will multiply these two. This will multiply these two. So this is how we expand the entire brackets. So x squared times y is going to be x squared y. Then x squared times z. So that will be s squared z. Now xz times y is going to be x yz. Now xz times z, that will be what? Xz square, right? So now xy times y is going to be xy squared. Then xy times z is going to be xyz. Okay? Also, when we say yz times y, it's going to be y squared z. So yz times z is going to be yz square. So do we understand that? So this is how we go about the expansion. So at this point, if there is any term that can add each other, then we add them together. If you look at this, xyz is here, xyz is here, so we can add them. That will be xyz plus xyz. That will be 2xyz, right? Do we have any other thing that can add? Nothing, right? So other ones, we just put them down. So it's gonna be x squared y plus s squared z plus 2xyz plus xz square plus xy square plus y squared z, right? Then plus yz square. So this is how we will resolve this problem, and that's the final answer. So we'll leave it here today. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also click the notification button so that we'll drop more videos, you'll be notified.
Yeah,
Thank you. And also comments. Leave comments. Let us see what you see about this. Yeah. Thank you.